The hidden have arrived. Welcome, my friends, to another episode of The Pain Lair. Great day. I can't tell you enough. Father's Day, AutoCross, just a wonderful, wonderful experience today. And I have to say, thank you. You know, I was going to try my darndest to get this AutoCross video on tonight, and I just don't have it in me. So I'm not even going to put credits or music down. I'm just going to lay this down because I'm physically exhausted. It's time for me to go get a little shut-eye. Excuse me, I haven't slept for the last couple of nights very well because I've been so busy pumping out content, and I'm going to keep pumping it out to you. Tomorrow night, I promise, the AutoCross, we're going to change things up. I know it is life because the AutoCross and the beauty of engines, ice, the beauty of ice, that's what we're talking about, internal combustion engines, and they're already going away. Tesla there today. I didn't even record a Tesla because I just, sorry, we'll talk about that later. I love electric cars, but there's just something about ice, man. You can't argue with internal combustion engines. They just roar and rage, and that equals horsepower to me. So we went and we had a great day. But today I really have to talk about Father's Day because I need to say what I'm thankful for. And I am so... There's never a day that goes by that I don't thank my lucky stars, God, and the universe for delivering me to the most loving parents that I could. I mean, I was literally blessed into the most loving, adoring parents that one could ever hope for. And they loved me and cared about me until they died. And I am so thankful for that. So today, I'm going to talk about my dad and how much he meant to me. I've already said so many things before about him, but my dad was truly an example of patience and understanding, and he had a Mr. Hyde in him. He could rage. I came by my Mr. Hyde, quite honestly. But I will tell you, he was the softest, kindest guy you've ever met in your life. I have nothing but fond memories of him. So I'm going to tell you a little story. This is how I'm going to end the night because I will never forget this moment. It was so fun. So when I grew up, there was they were called like joke shops, or in the mall, they were called the Keyhole. And really, they were just a disguise to sell bongs and paraphernalia, but they also sold lots of other really cool things. For example, they used to make these things called cigarette loads, and they were basically small firecrackers, and you stuck them in a cigarette with a toothpick. You pushed it in there, and when they lit their cigarette, it would blow the cigarette up, and it would blow tobacco everywhere and into their face and, of course, into their eyes. And it was funny, but it's funny. It's really funny. So I did it to my dad one day, and since he was such a jokester, he laughed the first time. So about 6 months went by, and I thought, the last time was good, but what if I took a toothpick and stuffed those all the way down in the cigarette, one after another, so the whole cigarette was loaded with the explosives? And so one day I stole one of my dad's cigarettes, and I painstakingly pushed the toothpick down in there and started shoving those little M80s down in there. And my dad would sit at the kitchen table and look out the window up at Timpanogos, and he would drink coffee and smoke cigarettes. So after I put that in, I made sure I watched, and he got pretty sharp. He would look at the end of the cigarette, because if you didn't do it right, you could see the insert in there. So he got savvy to that. And he even looked at the cigarette. He put it in his mouth. Well, when it blew up, it looked like something, in cartoons when something blows, like a cigarette blows up, they think it's a cigarette, it's a stick of dynamite, and it blows up and it, mushrooms all the way back. That's exactly what this did. And I started to laugh, but it was cool, but it wasn't as big as I thought it would be. I guess I wanted a firecracker, which would have really hurt him. It was actually perfect. I said, wow, I thought it would be bigger. And he said, he looked at me and he goes, God, what'd you want it to do? Blow my face off? But we laughed for like 15 minutes solid about how funny it was. And he kept the cigarette for like years and would show people, yeah, Daryl put a whole bunch of cigarette explosives in there. Look at the cigarette. And he said it wasn't big enough. He wanted it to be bigger. What the hell do you want to do? Blow my face off again? This is my dad. But he was such a sweetheart. He loved a good joke. He loved practical jokes. And he was a very, very sharp guy. Even though he only had a 3rd grade education. He was that didn't make him illiterate. My mother had schooled him his whole life, and anytime he had problem with anything, my mother had taught him, and so he was a very literate man. Read the paper every day religiously. And like I said before, went to work for 33 years and never missed a sick day. I think there's nothing that says more about a man's character than that. That's a pretty powerful statement. Built the building he worked in for 33 years. That's who my father was, and I'm honored. I'm absolutely honored to have been his child. I love you, Father. I love you with all my heart. Tomorrow, AutoCross and life on the Painlayer. Thanks. See you then, Ben.